our daily standards. Yeah, and we just want to conclude with the fifth standard. We went through the first, which is work with one goal and vision. And then the fourth one, find better way that yeah, to discuss it. We just stretch us to be more today than we which is that we allow challenges to stretch us to be more today than we were yesterday. Yeah, so there are like some study questions here, as you can see on our on the screen. But I think for me, and anyone is free to discuss what how can I say it, what they feel, they want to share about. But I think for me, when it comes to this, the question that pops out for me more is the last question that says that, do you look at the problem or the solution? And I think that most times when you have challenges, even if it's life or at work, it's so easy to, just look at the challenge like, oh, this is happening, or maybe this person didn't do this the way they were supposed to do it, or this client perhaps sent information late, or whatever the case may be. But I think it's very important for us to have a mindset. And I think for me, this is something that I'm also personally trying to teach myself, that it's good to have a mindset where you always you look for solutions. Yeah. There was actually, I think, a post somewhere by one of like is a CEO to one of the really, really huge companies. And, they were asking him why is it that, many young people you find don't have work and things like that. And he mentioned something very important, where he said that, he said there'll always be something to do for someone who is solution oriented. If you're someone who always finds solutions to problems, if you always find a solution for something, there will always be work for you to do, because that's kind of how like our world revolves, that we are all looking for someone who can solve our problem. Yeah. It's like when you go to tell someone maybe a problem that you may have, you're not you want a solution. Yeah. So I think it's just important for us to have that mindset to always look for solutions. Sometimes things may not go, let's say, if you're working here at Moracle, you have like maybe like an 8-hour work day. But let's say like a client sends something maybe late. Yeah, it's almost 5 p.m. and maybe a client has sent over something and you're trying to meet a deadline. Yeah. So will you look at it and maybe complain, or this person should have sent this earlier, or will you find a solution? And maybe the solution will be, okay, perhaps I need to stay a bit longer so that I can be able to complete this. And, when you're staying a bit longer, that, bring us to our standard that we're looking at today, you're stretching yourself in a way, because you're stretching yourself to be able to find a solution for this a particular problem. And that's the thing, that when you have a mindset to always find solutions, you're going to be able to stretch yourself. Yeah. You're not going to just say, oh, this is just what I have to do. These are just the hours that I need to work, but you'll be able to stretch yourself to be able to find solutions. Yes, so I think it's good to have that mindset that, not to just talk about problems. Oh, this is not going well. This is not going well. Okay, you have seen the problem. How about you strategize or think about a solution? Yeah, so I think it's always it's a good mindset to have, not just even at work, but just in life, to always have that mindset that, oh, this is happening, but there's a way that it can be fixed. You may not have the solution, but someone else could have the solution you're looking for. Yeah, so for me, I would say that's what I think. When you always have that mindset to look at solutions, you always be stretching yourself, because you're pushing your mind, you're pushing your ability, you're pushing your capacity to be able to find answers, to the issues that you're having. Yeah, so yeah, that's it from me. Anyone else can feel free to go ahead and share. Anyone else can feel free to go ahead and share. I'm sure you guys are always stretching yourselves, So I just want to hear from you guys as you're doing your work. What are some of those ways that you are, any challenge that you've met, and how you allowing those challenges to stretch you? I know Mola has always told us that we should be able to go an extra mile. So I know that if each and every one of us is going an extra mile, definitely we have something to share on this.
Hello, good morning, everyone, and thank you for this topic, Linda. We allow challenges to stretch us as to be more today than we were yesterday. I think in a growth environment, we need to look up to being different from every other day. We look to being better than we were yesterday. But in the process, there are problems, there are challenges here at work and elsewhere in our walks of life. But for me, I would like to look at it from a point where there's a challenge or a problem, there is an opportunity there. Because if you don't have challenges or problems, then you are not likely to change, you're not likely to grow. But if there's a challenge, a problem, then try to solve it. That's an opportunity for you to grow. That's an opportunity to make change, to develop, and not only change yourself, but change the environment or change your workplace or your friends. Because if you maybe understand something, maybe there's a new software, let's try to learn it. Let's try to ask questions. These days, it's easier to just look into Google or YouTube, and you find somebody who has already done it. Or even lots of people here, very experienced people with lots of different techniques. If we speak to one another, that way we are making problems easy. We are solving problems. And once that problem is solved, you can even help others who come up with the same problem, maybe interns when they come in and they are not sure of something, of how we do things, because you've already gone through it. But when you hide away, the problem won't go away. It's going to stay there. It's going to keep you backward. You're not going to progress, and the organization is not going to progress. Now, when I go to the questions there, where do you procrastinate? I think we tend to procrastinate where, again, there's a challenge and you feel like, let me forward it to tomorrow. Let me wait for somebody to sort it out. Again, it's the same sort of thing, which I just said. If there's an issue, get it done there and then if you have time. Don't push it forward. Otherwise, it's not going to be done. It's going to hold you back. You are not going to develop. You are not going to grow. And the other one is, what's that fear that stops you doing? So what's that fear that stops us? Sometimes we create an environment where we pretend to be superhuman, to be able to sort everything, to be able to know everything. So that can be an issue, that can be a problem. I think we need to get out of that mindset and we take it that you are valuable. There are things which we can't do. We can always, anybody has something more than they understand more than everybody else. So asking questions or going down or being that person who doesn't know, asking questions is okay. It's not a problem. Instead of like staying in your office and say, well, I know how to do it, but I'm a bit busy. That way you are just keeping the problem going. So we need to get it out of the way. Then the other one is where and when do you stretch yourself? It's the same thing again. When, where? Here at place of work, there are so many problems. There are so many, because our clients give us their problems, give us their work. So we need to stretch ourselves and make sure we do that work. And there's an expectation from them. There's something they don't know, which they think we are better than them. So we should be better, like stage 2, where you add value, to whatever you've produced, not only just the historical stuff which they've given you, but the forecasting which you can do for them, and then the presentation which you can do for them. So again, we need to stretch ourselves in these sorts of environments. We have a client, let's do a bit more. They've given us whatever they want us to produce, but if you can go that extra mile, show them a better way, I think we are adding value, we are developing, and we are getting rid of those issues, those problems. The last one, do you look at a problem or the solution? Yes, we always have issues, we always have problems, we always have tasks which are a bit hard. But let's always try not only to identify the problem, but come up with a solution as well. And if that solution is not good enough, that's okay. At least you've tried to find a solution. If you go to the manager or a senior or whoever you are asking, at least come with something. Say, okay, this is the issue here, and this is how I think I should go about it. That way is much better than just coming, there's a problem here. How do you sort it out? You need to come up with a solution yourself. You need to come up with some sort of reasoning behind your understanding. Fine. Sometimes maybe you don't know at all. That's okay. You can still say, I don't really understand this. But if there is a way you can sort it out, but you are not sure, at least bring that idea, and maybe the other person who's helping you can develop it from there. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else can go ahead to share? Anyone else want to share? Yes, guys, anyone else want to share? All right. Okay. If no one has anything to share, we shall just close our meeting here for today. I'll just share with us just a few reminders just before.